You're watching Screen Junkies News from San Diego Comic-Con. Presented by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
What's up, guys? It's me, Joe Starr. Welcome back to Screen Junkies News. Welcome back to Comic-Con. I'm here with my co-host, Elijah Wood. Thanks for joining the team, man.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure.
Elijah and I are here interviewing the cast of Dirk Gently.
Oh, you're going to ask us questions?
Yeah,
I
why
didn't
not?
realize that. Okay.
I'm not good at this job, so that's why he's here. Samuel Barnett, Dirk Gently, of course, Jade Eshty as Farrah, and Hannah Marks as Amanda. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So I wanted to kick this off. I got to interview you guys last year at Central before the show had premiered, and I'm a big Douglas Adams fanboy, and I will not lie. I spent a good amount of that interview as like the angry nerd, like don't touch my toy. I love this show, and I hope that's the reaction most fans had. I absolutely adored it. So between like that con and this con, is this sort of more like a celebratory like victory lap, like because you guys stuck the landing?
Oh, man, thanks.
I mean, you're only our second interview so far, but 2 for 2, I think.
Yeah, the other guy liked us as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh, perfect. So yeah, I mean, the two of us is hopefully enough. Absolutely enough.
Good. It feels good this time around, too, because we don't have to explain what the show is as much. You know, it was an unknown thing last year, and we hadn't premiered yet. And so there was, it was difficult to even talk about it without revealing too much.
Well, and to be honest, even after you've watched the show, it's still a difficult thing to talk about.
Unless you're Max Landis, who, you know, will probably spend like an hour walking you through every moment in really vivid detail. That's probably the only person that you can actually consult for the real answers.
Right, which he will. So so all these characters are kind of nuts, and I wanted to start with Dirk. He walks such like a fine line between like very lovable and then like very frustrating. Like as an actor, sort of how hard is that is a tightrope to walk?
So great.
well, it's just me. I think people find me like that in life. So it's like,
so yeah, just
not a lot of acting going on. No, it is hard because you want the audience to be on the character's side, but you also want them to be fully rounded characters and human beings that people can relate to. So you don't want to alienate anyone, but nor do you want to play a comic version of yourself.
Sure.
So I think it's really well written, which is the key. So like everything is in there, the depths are in there, and they're there to be found. And anyway, I think all comedy kind of comes out of truthfulness anyway, so that's what we try and do. And they're all dysfunctional, so I think every character, even the ones that seem to be like these weird keys to the universe that the universe uses, like Dirk and Bart, they all have very human characteristics that people can relate to.
Well, you said dysfunctional. I think by the end of season 1, everyone gets a little more dysfunctional, especially like Farrah. Her life's blown up by the end of season 1. So
Kaboom.
Let's start with her, and we'll sort of go to the whole cast. But sort of what can we expect with her from season 2? Are there any tidbits we can give away?
Yeah, I'm gonna try really hard not to do that this
How does the show end?
Well, season 1 ended with, we had formed the detective agency, and Farrah graciously decided to fund it. You're welcome, Dirk. Yep. And, for like 2 seconds, I think it was really wonderful because it was kind of like the one place where she kind of did feel that acceptance and, she was around people like herself.
Right.
However, 2 seconds later, Todd has his first parabibulitis attack, and then Dirk gets kidnapped. So we plunge right on into season 2, where Farrah is pretty much on the run. She's a criminal at this point. She's on the run for about 2-3 months. And finds her way to this tiny town in the middle of Montana called Bergsburg. I can say that, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
say that.
Bergsburg.
Comic-Con is a full week of, I can say that? Yeah.
Trying to find Dirk with the help of Todd and some local law enforcement. So there's a lot going on with Farrah. You learn a lot more about her past.
Okay.
In this season 2, so there's a lot of new tidbits that
Very
you'll
cool.
find
And
out.
knowing Max and knowing the show, I'm sure everyone just sort of jumps in the deep end and is expected to sort of
Immediately, episode 1,
Yeah.
done. Yes. Yeah.
Hannah, Amanda's just such a cool, just interesting character. What sort of attracted you to her the first time you read the script? Because it's just a very different lady character.
I honestly felt like I was playing myself because I'm such a neurotic hypochondriac that my disease in the show, which is totally made up and magical, feels like what I deal with every day just in my social anxieties.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. No, it was really cool. It's like getting to play an exaggerated version of who I am, and getting to play the drums and all that. There's so many things that were appealing about it, and Max's writing is so amazing, and I don't think I'll ever have another opportunity to play someone with a made-up disease that's agoraphobic, that's also involved in, crime and all these adventures. So there's so many special things about it.
Right on. And I don't want to ignore you, Elijah Wood. Thank you for co-hosting with me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm not doing a very good job of co-hosting, but
You're not, by the way.
Yeah.
I have notes.
Wow.
thank
rude.
you. We'll talk after
So
the show.
Todd is such an odd character, and then you were in a
Yeah.
great movie. I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
Thank you.
How have you been picking characters lately? Like, what sort of draws you to these guys?
It's probably twofold. I don't know that it's always just simply the character. It's also just the material. With this, I'd never read anything like this before. It was such a crazy mix of genres. The pilot script for Dirk Gently was really funny, super weird. It had these kind of genre elements, kind of violent. I just never read anything like that, so I was attracted to that. And the character was interesting, and sort of ultimately hearing Max describe what the character would ultimately go through over the course of the season, I was really even more intrigued. So, I'm just I'm always looking for things that are different and feel unique and exciting. And, with I Don't Feel at Home, that character is so strange and unlike anything I'd ever played before. So I was like, and I'm a big fan of Macon Blair, too, who
And
wrote
Nunchucks.
directed that. And Nunchucks,
And, yeah.
and Throwing Stars.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk the show and material real quick, because I've been told I'm allowed to say this. Season 2, you guys really switch up the genre and sort of plunge into like more of the fantasy genre. It's an all new case. So what are some sort of weird nebulous things we can expect from Dirk this season?
Well, can I just say what we were just talking about, actually, is that we didn't
Yeah.
even realize we're an anthology show where the characters stay the same. So if last season was time travel and body swapping, this season we're magic. And that's something I don't think we even realized last year
Yeah.
that we were going to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good. I mean, is there anything that like can't happen in a Dirk Gently
No.
series?
That's the thing. There are no limits at all. It's literally the limits of Max's mind.
I don't think we can have a scene where someone's just sitting and talking. I've never had a scene just sitting and talking in this show. Everything's
Not in
like
any kind of standard
you're
way,
climbing
yeah.
through the forest and something falls on your head, and
And there's a van of weird men chasing you.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
sure.
and no one is safe. I feel especially in this season, like you get attached to characters. It's that thing where you love these characters, and then all of a sudden, nope, they're not there anymore. Sorry, not sorry.
yeah.
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 And this season, I mean, Max is kind of subverting everything that you expect from these characters. So Dirk's having like an existential crisis about his abilities, and Todd is actually suddenly really on board with the idea that everything is connected. And,
Yeah.
and all the characters kind of are doing a complete about turn in who they are. So you get much more of their backstory, you get more depth to them.
Well, that actually sounds terrifying, because if everyone is starting to finally buy into Dirk's logic, that means everything's about to explode, and they're really going to regret
Pretty
that.
much. Pretty
Pretty
much.
Yeah, you're
much.
right. I didn't
Right
think
on.
of it
And
that
there-
way,
there
but
are
we're kind of
three-
the opposite.
There are also 3 central kind of locations this season too. It's Bergsburg, which is a fictional town in Montana. Bergsburg, by the way.
Love it.
I love
Bergsburg.
that name.
Go to
It's like
Bergsburg.
Villeville or Town. And then it's Blackwing. So we actually get to see
Okay.
Blackwing and explore that more, and a fantasy land called Wendemore.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. I want to wrap up with probably the most important question I can ask about Dirk. If you could have your essence dumped into an animal, take 2 seconds. And what animal would it be? Go. I'm judging you.
Sloth.
Perfect.
Woolly mammoth. They're bringing it back.
A panda.
A dolphin.
Those are the best answers I possibly could hope for. Guys, if you aren't watching Dirk Gently, you're making a mistake. Watch Dirk Gently. If you learn anything else from Comic-Con this week, it is a show you need to catch up on Jump On for Season 2. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
I
so much
really
for having
appreciate
us.
it. Thank you. Bye, guys. We'll see you later. Comment in the comments about how great my co-host was and about how awesome this cast is.
I need
and
to
let
brush
me
up
know
on
the
my
date
skills.
you were going to start watching the show. We'll see you later. Be nice to each other.
This episode was presented by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.